All right. All righty then. Who says that? All righty then. Jim Carrey. I think it's Jim Carrey. Anyways, this is number 225 YouTube yoga live routine. I have a calendar there. That's why I'm looking over there, but I can't see it. But I know what it is. I'm going to have to put on my socks. I'm going to have to Mr. Rogers this part. Because it's nippy out, man. I'm in Arizona and it's cold. When I moved from Virginia to Arizona, I thought, man, it'll be hot. Never been here before. Got here, like, dang. There goes that myth. All right. So, before we begin, I want to continue to give bite-size information, bite-size notions, bite-size ideas in regards to focus. So I believe this is number 6, day 6, talking about focus and how it relates to yoga and how the yoga philosophy understands existence and how things work. Now, you don't have to believe this stuff. You can take some of the information. You can take none of it. You can take it all. But this is just how the world, existence, capital E, is understood through the lenses of yogic philosophy. And I'm just giving you bite-sized information, bite-sized notions, bite-sized ideas, because what I'm trying to explain is something that needs to be experienced. And it can't be experienced through the description. So you get these pieces of information in regards to focus and how it works on the yoga mat or in your life. And then you start experiencing what the information is directing you to experience. And as you're being directed, that's the experience too. So, what I want to talk about today is the Troxler effect, which I talked about it yesterday, but I want to continue to talk about it today, and how it works in the land of thoughts. So, as I explained yesterday, the Troxler effect is where you focus on one object, whatever it may be. Maybe a flame, if you're meditating that way, or if you're doing yoga, you're focusing on the breathing and only the breathing. And everything else around what you're focusing on disappears. So you may have seen this online or in a textbook or whatever, where they have this cross or this X, whatever it may be, and they have this or have these purple or pink dots that are around the X. And when you focus on the X, all those purple and pink dots disappear. And then when you lose focus, you see the dots again, and then you bring your focus back to the X or the cross, and then the dots disappear again. That is what's happening when you meditate. So when you meditate on a flame, everything disappears. Your thoughts, what you have or what you're thinking about, disappear. And this is what's happening on the yoga mat. So when you're doing yoga, or even if you're in the easy pose or the lotus pose and you're meditating, if you're watching yourself breathe, your thoughts disappear. Now, the Troxler effect is in regards to vision, no doubt. I'm not saying it's not, but it can be applied to meditation, because this ability exists within meditation. I've experienced it. I know it exists. Now, the Troxler effect is a label they put on it in regards to vision. But this does happen in meditation. So if you enter into the land of thoughts, there is a meditation that you can do in the so-called land of thoughts. In yoga, thoughts in a roundabout way are illusions. They don't exist. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they exist or do exist, whether they're electricity just popping off in your brain, and then when the brain cuts off and the thoughts go, whoop, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about entering into this land of thoughts where we do live, many of us, throughout the day. Even when we're on the yoga mat, we're always thinking, trying to bring our focus back to the breathing, so on and so forth. But there's a meditation where you allow yourself to think whatever thought you're thinking of as you inhale. And then when you exhale, you let that thought vanish and disappear. Then naturally, another thought comes in, and you allow yourself to think whatever thought you're thinking of, no matter what it is. You focus 100% on that thought. And then when you exhale, you let that thought vanish and disappear. This is the same capability, the same ability that's happening in the Troxler effect. Again, that's in regards to vision, but it does happen in meditation. I've experienced it. I know it happens. So when you're in the land of thoughts, you inhale, think whatever thought you're thinking of. That thought is that X or that cross or that X, and all the thoughts around it disappear because you're just focused on that one thought. You're training your mind to be able to focus on one thing, and you're focusing on that one thought, getting rid of the monkey mind, where you're focusing on one thought and then boom, another thought comes in and you're thinking of this thought, boom, boom, boom. That's the monkey mind. That's what you're training your mind not to do. So you're focusing on that one thought, whatever it may be. You're not judging it. You're just watching it. And then all the other thoughts disappear. And then when you exhale that thought out. Let it vanish and disappear, because that's all it is. It can vanish and disappear because it's just a thought. Boom. And then naturally another thought comes in. It may be that same thought, but naturally another thought comes in. Whether it's that same thought or another thought, you focus on that thought, all the other thoughts disappear. And then what happens eventually is you want to become aware of who is watching that single thought. Who is watching that thought? Is it the collection of thoughts of who you think you are is watching that thought? In yoga philosophy, no. Is it a you, lowercase y, you? It's an experience. You have to experience who is watching that thought. I'm not going to explain who's watching that thought. But who is watching that thought? That's the feeling you have when you're watching that thought. And what happens, again, eventually, you realize you're not your thoughts, but the thing that's watching your thoughts. So what is that thing watching those thoughts? Well, one, it's not the thoughts, because you're not your thoughts. So today, I talked a little longer than I usually do. What time is it? 9 minutes. I try to go like 7 minutes tops, but I couldn't help but continue to talk. And so today, we're going to do the mount pose, 2 slow moving sun salutations. And then we're going to go to mountain pose again. And then we're going to do this meditation where you're focusing on one thought at a time. As you inhale, you think of the thought, and you exhale, you let that thought vanish and disappear. And you're going to have this feeling. You're not going to have this thought. You're going to have more of a feeling, capital F, feeling of who's watching. Who's the watcher? Who's the observer? Who's the seer? Who's the one that's watching all this happen? And we're going to do that in the easy pose. So we'll end in the easy pose. And I might do a half spinal twist. I like to do yoga and I like to do a twist, but sometimes I don't do a twist. But I like to get that twist in because you move, stretch this, and then I like to get a twist, but sometimes it doesn't work out well. Way. So let's go to mountain pose. Feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted. Arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Neck is relaxed. And in the mountain pose, you're lengthening up. So lengthen up and then let the bones sit on top of each other as if you were just your skeleton. So you have no fat, no muscle, no ligaments, tendons, none of that stuff exists. Just the bones. So you find that spot where the skeleton just stands. And everyone's going to look different. And you just focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. And you're finding that stability where the skeleton just stands. Sometimes you may sway, you may wobble. You find that stability. Go with the sway, go with the wobble. Don't fight it. Once you fight it, that's not yoga. That's not what we're doing. You're becoming one like a mountain. Just like a mountain is part of the earth, your body's part of the earth. So become one. Oneness, capital O, oneness. Remember, you're just going to watch yourself breathe the entire time. 100% focus on the breathing. You're thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. There's two ways you can watch the belly go in and out. So when you inhale, the belly expands with air. And when you exhale, the belly goes in. Or you watch the air go in and out of the nose. So you bring your focus to the tip of the nose and watch yourself breathe. Remember, you're already breathing automatically. You're just watching it. So palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. It's the first stretch, so go nice and easy. Inhale. And then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back, reaching out, and then just fall into the ragdoll. When you fall into the ragdoll, the arms dangling, the head is dangling. There's no tension anywhere. When you feel a little tension in the lower back, just release it. Just let the body go where the body goes. You're not pulling yourself in. You're not pulling yourself down. You're just accepting. Capital A, acceptance. Let it go of judgment. Let it go of trying to be somewhere. Just accept where you are. Do not judge the pose. That is a barrier that will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. And when the mind and body become one, that is yoga. And that's what we're doing, yoga. Just release a little bit more. Don't judge it. Even if you're going down all the way and you're thinking, man, I'm doing this perfectly. Nope, that's judgment. That's not what we're doing. It's great that you could do that, but that's not what we're doing. So palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. You're going to arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can slowly. And exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down. Get all the air out. Push all the air out slowly. And again, inhale. Inhale as much as you can. Then exhale. Pull yourself in and down. Get all the air out. Push all the air out. And again, arch the back. Raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down. Foreheads go to the knees, get all the air out. Two more. The cough is coming back because I'm inhaling and exhaling. Inhale as much as you can. Then inhale, inhale, then exhale, pull yourself in and down. I threw myself off. That's all right, that's all right. I'm telling that to myself, that's all right. Then arch the back, raise the head, inhale. Inhale as much as you can, then exhale. Pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Push all the air out. I was doing fine on the coffin. And left leg is back into a low lunge. With a low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally, back is arching, head is up, palms are to the calves, maybe your fingertips, maybe you're like this. Doesn't matter. Wherever you are, you accept. Once you accept where you are, boom, you tap into yoga. Non-acceptance, judgment, all those are barriers between the mind and body. Here's the mind, here's the body. You need to get rid of those barriers. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to be somewhere. Don't be critical. None of that stuff. Get rid of it. And then the mind and body becomes one, and that enters into capital O, oneness, and that's yoga. That's what we're doing. You're accepting. So when you accept yourself on the mat, when you're off the mat, you have this mindset of accepting yourself in the world or in your daily life, wherever you are. And then that gives you a base where you can move up, if you like, in a so-called way, move up. But you need to find out where you are. And when you find out where you are, then you can analyze and understand where you need to go. Or you just accept yourself. Maybe you're in a spot where you thought it was negative, and then you realize, hey, this is awesome. It's all a mindset. You're feeling opened. Yoga is not the poses. Yoga is when the mind and body connect. You can do yoga washing dishes, washing your car, driving down the street, doing your homework, at your job. It's a mindset. Now, curl the toes under the back, knee goes up, high lines just for a second or so back leg is straight, front knee is not over the toes. Make sure you lengthen up. We're not going to stay here long. Just use it as a transition pose, and then go to downward dog. The downward dog, arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor. And you are pushing yourself into this pose. But you're only pushing to the spot right before you feel like, man, I can't go any further. You find that spot, you settle there, and you focus on the breathing. No tension in the neck, head's dangling. Just focus on the breathing, accepting where you are. So if you're out here and that's all you can do, that's awesome. If your mind and body's connecting, you're doing yoga. Now, wherever you are, you push a little bit more if you feel like you should. If you feel like you shouldn't, then you don't. You listen to your body, listen to yourself. You don't listen to me. We're doing yoga together. You're learning to become your own guru, your own teacher, your own leader. You're relying on yourself. 2020, that's who you need to rely on. That's how I understand yoga. That's how I understand it. And if that's not true for you, then that's fine too. We can still do yoga together. Now drop down to the knees and the chest. When you slide up, tops of the feet are to the floor, palms, of course, are to the floor. And it's the upward dog. Modify the pose how you have to. If you need to go down, do the small cobra, do the small cobra. So the palms are to the floor, but you're not using them. You're not pushing up, you're pulling up. You're using the back muscles, which are pull muscles. Or just modify the upward dog the best you can, do the best you can. Once you're settled, you accept, you focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. Then back to downward dog. Really push into it now. It's the second downward dog, so you push a little bit more. You feel like you should. If you feel like you shouldn't, then don't. Even if you're in the pose and you're halfway in it and you think, you know what, I need to bring myself out of it, bring yourself out of it. That is yoga. Yoga is adjusting, modifying, going with the flow. It's a mindset. So when you're off the yoga mat, you're doing the same thing in your everyday life. Adjusting, modifying, changing, doing this, doing that, but you're staying in a meditative state. And wherever you are, push a little bit more if you feel like you should. If you feel like you shouldn't, then don't. And then bring the left foot up between the hands into a low lunge with a low lunge. Top of the foot to the floor in the back. Knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching, head is up. Make sure the front knee is not over the toes. Lengthen up if it is. And just feel open. And feel open, feel open. Capital O, openness. And remember, the pose does not dictate whether you feel open. So if you're down, don't judge it. That's where you are. If you're down, this is all you can do, just for example, don't judge it. Let go, accept. Once you accept, you tap into openness. Openness is just another word for yoga. Acceptance, capital A, is just another word for yoga. You want to accept where you are, accept who you are. The body does not dictate whether you are in yoga or not. Now curl the toes into the back, knee goes up, high lunge just for a second or so. We're not going to stay here. We use it as a transition pose. And then you move into the standing forward bend. Standing forward bend, very important pose. Palms are to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Pull yourself in and down. Foreheads go to the knees. And you're letting yourself breathe. You're focusing on nothing else. 100% focus on the breathing. And you let yourself breathe by inhaling. And when you inhale, the belly swells with air slightly. And then when you exhale, the belly goes in, and you go back into the pose. Let that movement happen. It's a subtle movement, but it's happening. Now you're not focused on it, you're focusing on the breathing. But you're aware of that subtle movement. And what's happening is that you're becoming aware of subtleness. So when you're off the yoga mat, you are aware of subtleness around you. Subtle things that are happening around you. You're becoming aware, capital A, awareness. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale, and exhale. Inhale. Hey, it looked like I did the dab. My kids do the dab. Well, they don't do the dab anymore. A few years ago they did. Exhale, pull yourself in and down. I was just coughing. And we're going to move into these a little quicker. Pull yourself in and down. Get all the air out. Once all the air is out, then just release and watch yourself breathe. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. The left leg is back into a low lunge. Opening up. You're inhaling. Inhale as much as you can. And then release. And then just breathe and watch yourself breathe. And then high lunge for a second or so. Then downward dog. Exhale. Push all the air out. Once all the air is out, release. And just watch yourself breathe. 100% focus on the breathing. And then drop down to the knees and the chest, slide up, upper dog. Inhale, inhale as much as you can. And exhale, back to downward dog. Man. Can't get rid of the cough. It's been slowly getting better every day, inch by inch, but it's going in that direction. Push a little bit more, and then left foot is up, low lunge. Inhale, inhale as much as you can, focusing on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. And then high lunge just for a second or so. So transition pose. And then move into the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Get all the air out. All the air leaves. Palms together. Reach out. Up and back. Inhale. And then exhale. And then go ahead and release. And you're going to go to mountain pose. Remember, in mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up for the toes as much as you can. Then each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms relax, shoulders relax. And find that spot where the skeleton just stands. Now, we're going to go to easy pose, which is the modification of the lotus pose. Let me get my phone, because I'm going to time this. We're going to do the meditation I was just mentioning, meditation I was mentioning before the yoga routine, where you focus on one thought as you inhale, whatever thought that is, and when you exhale that thought out. We're just going to do it for 1 minute, but I want to time it. And this is what you do. You do it for 1 minute every morning. You try to do it around the same time. You try to do it at the same time. But if you can't, then that's fine too. You do it when you wake up, or you do it before you go to sleep. You can do 1 minute. You can do 3 minutes. You can do 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15, 20, whatever. But what I suggest is doing it 1 minute, maybe 3 minutes. See, a lot of people, when they start meditation, and they do it every day, they want to do 20 minutes. Something with this 20. Everybody wants to do 20. They go walk 20 minutes. They run 20 minutes. Somewhere in our culture, they push this 20 minutes. Of course, it's because of exercise. But don't do that. Make it easy for yourself so you can do it every day. It's better to do it 1 minute a day, every day, for an entire year than doing it, 4 days, 5 days, 30 minutes, and you just sit there, and then the next 51 weeks, you don't do it. It's better to do it every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. And then, of course, you have flexibility. If you miss a day, that's fine. That's part of life. That happens. Doesn't matter, because you've already missed it. So get down on yourself. So we'll do 1 minute. So let me get this. That's my 30 minutes that I take a nap. Sometimes I take a nap and I do 30 minutes. Okay, so again, the meditation is where we're going to skip the half spiral twist, like I mentioned. I said I might do it, I might not do it. But so in the easy pose, you're going to get easy. It's called the easy pose. So get easy. Feel easy. So palms to your knees, back straight. Some people put their palms like this. That's fine too. You can lean back. You have one leg out. You can lean against the wall. It doesn't matter. Get comfortable. Get that seated position where you're comfortable, so you can focus on the breathing. And then you're going to watch yourself think. So this is the meditation. Back is straight, as straight as you can get it. Palms to the calves, to the knees, or wherever you are. And when you inhale, you think of whatever thought you're thinking of. It's one single thought. Don't judge it. Just watch it. It's just a thought. Just watch it. Then when you exhale that thought out. Let it vanish and disappear. Naturally, another thought comes in. You watch that thought. Allow yourself to think of that thought. Allow yourself to watch that thought. Whatever it may be, don't judge it. Then you exhale that thought out. Let it vanish and disappear. And you continue until there's no more thoughts. Boom. And then you realize you are not your thoughts, but the thing that's watching your thoughts. So, since when I was doing that, at the end, I was like, man, that's kind of harsh. I don't mean it harsh. So we're just going to go 1 minute, focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. And watch yourself think one thought at a time. You inhale, think of whatever thought you're thinking of. Then you exhale that thought out. Cut this off. So, how do you cut it off? All right. So we're going to do this one more time. I messed up on the explanation. That's the great thing about being live. If I was recording this, I would just cut that out. You're not focusing on your breathing. I say that for the last 24 times, 23 times almost. That's not what you're doing. You're focusing on that one thought. I messed up. But as you inhale, so you kind of are focusing on the breathing, but you're more aware of the breathing. So when you inhale, you think whatever thought you're thinking of. You exhale that thought out. So we're going to go one more time. Sorry, I messed up. It's over. Namaste. If you're leaving. But if not, no one's watching this video anyways. I'm well aware of that. Believe me, I know. So let's go ahead and focus on that one thought, let it vanish and disappear. And then naturally another thought comes in, focus on that thought. And when you exhale, you let it vanish and disappear. Palms together. That's it. That is number 225. I need to work on explaining that meditation. I do that meditation personally, but I don't ever explain it. I don't think I've ever explained it. I might have explained it a few times, but I never do it. So I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So namaste, peace and love.